Big Al's Rant with Cayden McFarland, powered by Jack Cassee Ford.
And welcome to the Rant, everybody. Just want to make these opening remarks before we get going. I've prided myself in being the starting sportscaster here at Channel 2 for the last 35 years. And I realize that now that I'm injured and now that I just must say that Cayden McFarland deserves to start the Rant today. It's been
I don't feel like I'm ready
for me. But the burning desire to be back at starting sportscaster here, if you don't believe me, then you don't know what it's like, what the ecstasy is like to be the starting sportscaster here at Channel 2.
The ecstasy of starting the Rant. Okay, so you couldn't help yourself. You didn't tell me you were going to start that way. You hate the Cowboys that much that you're going to take old Tony Romo's moment of pathetic. That was grace.
It
was a moment of
grace. It was like he was auditioning for a starting role in some B movie.
Maybe he is.
Oh, it was pathetic.
Maybe
you mean
he
to tell me he couldn't have come to the podium and said, fellas, you know, I'm here to say Dak Prescott's the starting quarterback. I accept it. I'm going to do my best to get my job back, and I realize it's the best for the team. Okay, any questions? But no, we had to go through this poetic
I was moved.
baloney.
He's a better actor. He's a better actor than his old girlfriend, Jessica Simpson.
It was a crock. Please, stop it. He used some words that you had to have it Webster's
Nothing wrong
dictionary.
with that. Nothing wrong with that. That's good sometimes.
It is wrong with it when you're trying to address a football crowd.
I don't know if I've been around you since when the Cowboys have been this good. Things change.
No, I like Tony
when
Romo.
When they're 8-1 with a young team.
Believe it or not, I like Tony Romo.
You do like Romo.
That address yesterday.
That wasn't class.
Melodramatic nonsense.
It was a little melodramatic, but that's Dallas. That's the Cowboys. It's always a little melodramatic. That's all right. It was class, wasn't it? How many times have we seen it?
You know what class it was?
How did Joe Montana deal with it when Steve Young basically took his job? Did he have any sort of statement like that?
No.
Right. I mean,
Favre didn't either.
Drew Bledsoe.
I'm not saying you can't go out there and do that, but you have to read for 5 minutes from a script that sounded like he was getting ready for Romeo and Juliet?
I thought it was heartfelt, and I like the guy.
Stop it.
I like Tony Romo. Heartfelt. He's my man.
So you fell for that crap yesterday.
I guess so. I think most people did. Thing's been watched on Twitter like a billion times. I think people liked it.
Come on.
Thought he was vulnerable and honest and
vulnerable.
I liked it.
He didn't take any questions.
Well, that's true, but I mean, he doesn't need to. He said what needed to be said, right?
Oh, he said it.
And said, "Hey, I'm not the guy anymore." That's hard to say.
What he did in 5 minutes, he could have done in 1 minute and taken questions. It was a joke.
Do you think they're going to need him the rest of the year?
Yes.
If you just had to guess, you think Romo will play?
He will take a meaningful snap for the Cowboys before the season's over.
How do you think that'll go? Better chance he breaks his back or saves the day?
If Dak Prescott gets hurt.
Right.
Or if he throws
or just goes south one day and
and
I think they'll need him
doesn't show up in time to play the game on Thanksgiving.
Who was the Denver Broncos starting quarterback at this time a year ago? It was Brock Osweiler, right? And then Peyton Manning won the Super Bowl for him. I mean, it'd be crazy if that happened 2 years in a row, but hey, I think it could. This is way more interesting than Saints Panthers.
The National Fall Asleep League. That's the NFL these days. Oh my goodness.
All right, now I didn't know you were going there.
About Romo?
But I think you're going to be fired up about this as well. The first domino.
He's still trying to figure out how well you can get it.
Yeah, here it is. Sunday night I had my paper. I got it again.
Yes, he was Albert Einstein on Sunday.
Yeah, this is Aaron McCullough, who's Facebook Live. And by the way, hello, Facebook Live. And if you have questions, absolutely hit us up. We're going to be talking about OU, OSU, and do they have a chance to make the college football playoff? And if you're not paying attention, if you're not aware, Louisville, number 5 in the country in the college football playoff rankings, is trailing Houston 31-0 at the half. And that would be, last week, this would be the first domino of this week. Because as we know last week, number 2, 3, and 4 all lost. And this is number 5 on the way to losing tonight.
If Louisville comes back and beats Houston today, is OU toast?
Probably. I have here a list of things, and it's a long list of things that need to happen. Go ahead and roll our video. A list of things that need to happen if OU is going to make the college football playoff. And Louisville losing a game because they only had 2 left, and it was Houston and Kentucky, and I thought those were both really winnable. It was at the top of the list for me in terms of most difficult things to have actually come to fruition. And look, November football's crazy. It happens every year, right? We see upsets like this that you just don't expect.
What is Kirk Herbstreit saying to himself right now?
Right, he went on Tuesday and said...
Federal case he made out of Louisville Tuesday.
Sure, yeah. I think
was
wrong. And I was wrong. When it was 24-0, I said, I think Louisville's going to win this game. I mean, there's still a half to go. But they are scary offensively. You know, kind of like Chip Kelly's Oregon's team, or Oregon offenses were. You know what I mean? They passed the eye test for me, but right now they're showing, I think, that they're not a championship team. So other things that need to happen, I think Bama needs to win the SEC because Bama's in one way or another, so you don't need another SEC champ. Ohio State, I think, needs to win the Big Ten, and you need Michigan to take a loss, obviously, to Ohio State. Penn State to take a loss, Wisconsin to take a loss. Washington's got to lose. That's a big one because a Big 12 champ is not taking the place of the ACC champ or the Big Ten champ or the SEC champ, so you got to knock the Pac-12 out.
Really,
so Washington's got to lose, and then a whole bunch of other teams have to lose, but we didn't think Louisville would lose tonight, so I'm saying there's a chance.
There's only one spot left.
Yes.
Even if Michigan loses.
Correct.
So why would you think a Big 12 team would climb from 9 and 10 or whatever, or 11, and take up that 4th spot? The formula for that to happen is so immense.
Yeah, right, exactly. A lot of things have to happen. I'm not saying I think it will happen. I'm saying I think there's a chance it will happen. That's the difference, right? You're basically saying not a snowball's chance in hell.
Right.
And I'm saying
exactly what I'm saying.
I'm saying what the guy said in Dumb and Dumber.
And since you're running the show today, you can say those things.
I can say that. So you say
I'm the backup quarterback.
Give me the reason. Big 12 has no shot. Why?
Because the top team in the conference has 2 losses, and they're ranked accordingly. The committee is not going to give the Big 12 any benefit of the doubt whatsoever.
And nor should they, the way they played in the non-conference.
Look at how the Big 10 has 4 teams in the top 8.
But they won't all stay there.
No, they won't all stay there, but that's going to be at least 2 of those teams that are going to be ahead of them.
Good chance. Now, you and I, this has kind of been, I think, an interesting argument.
Do I want to go to the Fiesta Bowl or whatever it would be? Of
course.
We
want to go. 2-loss Michigan versus 2-loss Oklahoma. Hey, there's Tony Romo. Can we show that on Facebook Live?
Can't show that on Facebook Live.
Oh, good point. Thank you, Aaron. I'm glad you're there.
We what?
I'm glad
Can't show that one.
Why?
Oh, because it's on NBC.
Yeah, that's right. And we're online. And
I see.
Yeah.
So
we're
by the way,
contractually obligated to not show.
That's right. So 2-loss Michigan versus 2-loss Oklahoma. You think Michigan would get the edge at the end of the year in that scenario?
Yes, because Michigan is getting so much love right now. And if
they only dropped to number 3.
If it's a close game with Ohio State, then they'll still get the love.
I will admit that you might just be right. But Michigan's quarterback being hurt, we'll see how hurt he is, but Michigan's quarterback being hurt, I think, could loom large, could factor in. The fact that Michigan would have finished the year with 2 losses in its last 3 games, and OU would have finished the year on a 9-game winning streak, and we should include OSU. I'm sorry. We've got OSU video in this as well. Oklahoma State's got every bit the argument that OU does. Yeah, it was going back and forth.
Cool. We didn't...
But from now on, I'll say OU and Oklahoma State if they were to finish the year strong. Now, I do think because of the brand recognition, I think that OU has more credibility probably with the College Football Playoff Committee than OSU. Sad to say,
but don't they lose some credibility as
case.
To how they played last year in the Final Four, and many people thought they didn't belong there in the first place?
I think that's...
Listen, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No. I think that's a good point. The thing I would point to is OU has gotten the benefit of the doubt so many times that now I think this is a thing. I mean, they lost to Kansas State in the Big 12 title game 35-7. And somehow got put in the title game. They lost to Texas head-to-head, finished tied with Texas in the Big 12, but somehow went to the national title game in 08. And then last year they beat 3 backup quarterbacks, and people made them the favorite over Clemson.
This is a different deal.
But OU gets the benefit of the doubt. I mean, that's
generally correct. I'm not so sure about this in this committee, though.
Might be right.
Obviously, the Big Ten is getting more love than the SEC.
They're getting a lot of love, and probably deserve it when you look at the way they played out of conference.
Look at the also-rans. How does Tennessee get back in the top 15? They stink.
I think we're seeing a night with Louisville.
Colorado is 10.
I think we're seeing a night out that there's Alabama, there's Ohio State, and
everybody
after that is just who knows week to week. I mean, Michigan losing at Iowa, a team that threw for 66 yards. I know that Michigan has looked really good at times this year. The win over Penn State was especially impressive. But how good can they be if they find a way to lose to Iowa like they did last week? Did that look like a championship contender to you? So my point is, there will be weeks when Michigan is a championship contender and looks it, but there will be weeks when they don't, and there's kind of only one, maybe two teams out there, Alabama, Ohio State, that are a cut above everybody else.
So if Michigan loses to Ohio State, let me make sure I got your formula correct. Michigan has to lose.
Yeah.
Washington has to lose.
Yes.
Obviously, Louisville has to lose.
Absolutely.
And either Wisconsin or Penn State
They probably
have to
both
lose.
have to take a loss, to be honest. Probably both have to. Wisconsin is taking on Purdue, Minnesota in the Big Ten championship game. And Penn State has Rutgers, no chance they lose. Michigan State, maybe, in the Big Ten championship game.
Okay.
But I would say the chances that Penn State lose to Michigan State.
I just hope the Bedlam game is for the Big 12 championship.
Yeah.
Good
point.
You know how coaches always say, take it one game at a time?
Let's take it one game
We
at a time.
have a couple of games this weekend that are very critical.
Let's talk about OU West Virginia. OU's got the best offense in this league. West Virginia's got the best defense.
Yes, but I think the weather being as horrible as it's supposed to be, freezing rain, that kind of thing, having P. Ryan and Mixon.
So you like OU because of the weather?
Yes, absolutely.
See, I was thinking West Virginia because they've got the quarterback run game. They're more used to those elements, I would assume. Not that they play in it a lot, but
I think
those
the weather
guys live
has been
up there.
rather calm all season.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is going to be the first time we deal with this kind of weather.
And they've got the better defense. But, I mean, you might be right. I mean, what are we talking about, wind, or is it just kind of snow and cold?
Oh, no, it's cold and mix of rain and snow is expected.
So you should definitely run the ball.
60% chance of
Look,
that.
if
I think there are going to be a lot of couches on fire to keep people warm.
P. Ryan didn't look 100% last week.
But that's
it
him.
would,
He
it
takes
would
a
be
week to get
right. It would be really good for the
And he
Sooners.
still had 100 yards.
If he was healthy. That's right. 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. We're looking at highlights of West Virginia right now. Look, they do have the best defense in this league. I think they're a really good ball club. But when you're talking Baker Mayfield versus Skylar Howard, when you're talking the firepower of Samaje Perine and Joe Mixon, I think OU finds a way to win this ball game, even though the greatest indictment of the Big 12 this year is that OU with that defense, which is bad, it really could go 9-0 in this league. I mean, there is no greater indictment.
Speaking of OU's defense, I really don't understand what Mike Stoops was doing when he made it public about his feelings about Walker.
Yeah.
We all knew why he was leaving.
Just let it go.
Just let it go. It happens.
That Irish temper, man.
Well,
those Stoops boys
I don't
sometimes
understand.
just can't hold back.
It must be. I don't understand
you're
why
right.
he would do what he did. And
People can recruit against you with it.
And he's a good coach. We know that. But does he get this emotional when he's got to make a play call from the booth?
I think he
or
gets
on the
more
sideline?
emotional.
Well,
yeah.
I think that's a concern. You have to be level-headed. You can't just go off on some tangent because you disagree or you're mad at a player.
Yeah.
To me, you can't do that. Listen, I'm the first one to say that we live in the world of the wussification of America.
Right.
But we all knew that Walker was playing games here. We knew that he didn't want to play anymore. We knew that he didn't want to get hurt anymore so he could get himself ready for the National Football League. I cannot believe his brother is happy with that being told.
And I don't think it's the right decision. I'm not going to say that he should be on the field, but I don't think it's the right decision to leave the team, to stop practicing, get ready for the NFL. To me, stay in school as long as you can, knock out as many of those credit hours as you possibly can.
But we knew this a month ago, what he was aiming at.
Right. And when it comes to concussions, can you blame a kid? He had one that kept him out of the Clemson game, and it happens in the TCU game. We don't know what we're dealing with concussions at the moment exactly, but we know that we didn't know enough in the past and that it wasn't dealt with the way it should have been, and guys put themselves really in harm's way for the rest of their lives. So, I mean, you have some real empathy.
Dr. Jerry Jones, by the way, says that the threat of concussions is way out of whack.
Is that right?
That concussions aren't really that bad. He said 40 years ago, they said don't take aspirin, and now they're telling you to take one every day. And apparently Jones went into this doctor and had his brain tested, and he went in there anonymously, and when they came out, the doctors told him he had the brain of a 40-year-old.
This is a real thing.
This
You're
is
telling
a
me
real
right
deal.
now?
Yes.
I thought he maybe just stayed at a Holiday Inn last night, but he actually went and saw a doctor anonymously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he didn't know who Jerry was. Yeah, right. Okay. And Jerry claims that he has the brain of a 40-year-old. And he played fullback and offensive lineman at Arkansas.
Sure.
And if anybody would have his brain knocked loose, it would be
Jerry
doing
Jones,
that. So there you go. So I think when this is what I think will happen. I think the defense attorneys, when the NFL goes to court for all these concussions, they're going to call Dr. Jerry Jones to the stand as an expert witness for the concussions. Forget it. It's nothing. What's a concussion? So we went black for 10 minutes. What's the big deal?
If the Cowboys
put him back out there.
If the Cowboys
no
get
concern.
to 12, if the Cowboys get to 12-1, I am so frightened at what may become of the Rant segment and the hatred.
I can't believe you fell for the Tony Romo speech. I really
loved
can't.
It.
I thought.
I didn't make no apologies for that. I thought it was class.
You know, you talk about. Oh man, it was.
Facebook Live, back me up. That was class. I know you agree with me, Facebook Live.
Aaron, they're not talking about Tony Romo.
They need to.
But I will tell you that Greg Jernigan does agree with Big Al. He says
No
zero chance, 0% chance. Ty Bell says that the Big 12 stinks and it's watered down. And then Keith Moore loves the Sox.
Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, I think Foxes. I think that's what we got going on with those Sox, right?
Foxes or Coyotes or something.
Yeah, well.
All right, they're running rampant on
All
Riverside.
right, so make your pick on OU West Virginia.
OU, and it's going to go to overtime.
What about OSU TCU?
TCU. I think TCU has regrouped, and I'm really nervous for TU. You know, it's a long season. I don't know how many times they can come back from despair, so to speak.
Sure.
So there you have it. All right. Anything else?
Give me
that's
OSU.
right.
Give me
You're
OSU.
running the show.
Give me OSU. Mason Rudolph's 20-5 career record, 14-0 against everybody in the Big 12 that's not Baylor. They win all these close games. I'm going to keep riding it until they don't. You know, doesn't this seem like it's going to be a close game?
Yes, I hope you are correct.
Yeah.
I hope you pick every single winner because I'm in
TU
the
is in a
dark
tough
days
spot,
of my
by the way.
career right now.
TU's in a tough spot.
And anybody who thinks that I don't want to compete,
they don't know you.
they just don't know
know
the ecstasy that it is to pick a winner
well-read
and be a
Vosot.
sportscaster on
That's
this
right.
on this television station. Oh God, Puke City.
There it is. Look at this. The slow
Puke
push.
City.
Do we have any music to put in? No?
No.
Okay.
We do have a super moon out there. All right, get out of here.
Oh, yeah.
enough
Get
already.
out of here, you knuckleheads.
Look at these shoes that Cam Newton's wearing today.
Yeah.
All right. Game 23, Carolina. We'll see you on Sunday.
Big Al's Rant with Cayden McFarland, powered by Jack Casey Ford.